What's up guys, welcome back to my story segment. Today I'm really excited because it's going to be on the story of the Knights of the Round Table. This is one of my favorite stories of all time just in general. I'm more acquainted with the Welsh translations and stories of the Knights of the Round Table, so I'm going to be going off of that. But it is really close to all the other kind of iterations that have existed, so let's just jump straight into it. Starting off, of course, I'm going to start off with Excalibur. Excalibur is Faria's sword in this game, but of course it's normally King Arthur's sword. This is not the sword that was pulled from the stone by just regular Arthur when he became king. That's Caliburn. Caliburn gets kind of damaged at one point, so he gives the sword to Lady of the Lake, which is literally a lady that lives in a lake. And she also happens to be Lancelot's stepmom. She kind of took care of him ever since he was little. And I guess adopted mom, you could say. And the sword was given to her, and then it was like blessed and like enchanted, so then it became Excalibur. So originally this isn't the form of it when it's pulled from the stone. It's kind of just made into that later. And then moving on, we have Queen Guinevere. Guinevere is kind of the whole reason why this story was even relevant. What happens is, in some stories anyway, it's that she sleeps with Lancelot because she wants to, but then there's other ones where it was because of kind of like a love potion. I'm going to go with the love potion one because another one of the cards in the game kind of pushes for that angle. But so if you read her flavor text, it says, okay, I was wrong again, please bring me another guy. So they just wanted to make her super promiscuous in this game, but she's pretty much King Arthur's wife and sleeps with Lancelot. And so the whole war happens, and that's of course where Lancelot comes into play. Lancelot is, they go to war with King Arthur and Lancelot, and as he's trying to execute Guinevere for, cheating on him, Lancelot comes to save her with Hector, who's his half-brother. So in the whole beginning of this war, she's trying to get executed. Lancelot and Hector, plus, a bunch of all the other soldiers or whatnot, go to rescue her, and then they all get to escape. And of course, we don't have King Arthur released yet, so I can't show him, but he's from Valhalla. He's one of the rulers in that set, and I'm really hoping they bring him back at least as a resonator in Alice 1, but I'm not 100% sure if they're going to, which would be great. But then going back to the love potion, Morrigan, the goddess of tragic love, is one of the promos we got for, I think it was the NPR box. If you bought one, you were to get this. And Morgan is kind of like the evil Merlin. She's not like particularly evil, but she kind of is, so I'm just gonna she's just gonna be the villain from now on. But she's the one that makes this love potion and gives it to Guinevere, so she sleeps with Lancelot to kind of start the whole war, because she's just evil. Everybody hates her. I mean, she kind of hates Merlin, and I guess she was trying to get in the way of the whole court. So she figured if she was to kind of cause a scene, that it would be one of the ways to do this. And then we have Mordred. Mordred is the biggest, meanie, I want to say, because I want to watch my language, but I hate this guy. This guy pretty much is such a wimp that he waits for Arthur to go through the whole war, come back, and then he usurps the throne and just kills Arthur. And the sword he uses to do it is the ceremonial blade that Arthur would use to knight his knights. So he literally goes and uses like the most traditional weapon that has so much meaning to it, kills King Arthur after a battle where he's weakened, and then just takes the throne as if that's totally okay. That's the weakest, most non-macho move you could do. I don't know why they drew him like that. He should have been this scrawny wimp for being so sneaky. So I don't like this guy. He's really mean, and I'm not going to play him because of it. And he's on the mat though because it fits the theme. So I don't like Mordred. Don't like him either. King Arthur all the way. Mordred sucks. Anyway. So going into Percival. Percival is one of the 3 knights that go on the quest for the Holy Grail. You can of course see it in his name where it says Secret of the Holy Grail. This is normally a boy, and they just drew it as a girl because why not? Kind of same with Hector. I'm pretty sure that's a girl. But Percival is the one to, at the end of when they find the Holy Grail, to just kind of stand guard and protect it, kind of like how Zero protects the other True Stones. And the other knight that goes along with him, one of the other knights, is Galahad. Galahad, upon finding the Holy Grail, just kind of feels like his entire life is complete, and he's the purest of all knights, which is why I also think he has the heal effect. And when he finds the Holy Grail with Percival, he kind of just ascends to heaven because he feels like his life is complete, and Percival is left to stay guard. And then Bors is the 3rd knight that goes with them, but he goes to join up with Lancelot later on after he finds out this whole war is happening. And I just wanted to show off really quickly that there's a Galahad that came in the starter decks that's also from Valhalla. And this isn't, of course, a dual deck starter deck. I mean the light Valhalla starter deck. But This is Galahad the Oracle Knight. It's 6/5 and it heals upon doing damage, which I think is pretty much the same card just reprinted. So I'm really hoping that because they were able to reprint this, that they'll be more open-minded to reprint stuff like, maybe Arthur as a Resonator or some of the other knights that, like Merlin is also, there's 2 different Merlins in Valhalla, so it'd be cool to get a reprint of those with, more relevant effects, because from what I remember, the Merlins were really bad. But yeah, so those 3 go on the quest for the Holy Grail, and I just wanted to show this because it's funny that we have the Holy Grail from CMF, and this whole time we've had it, but no one's really ever paid attention to it, and I've always been like, it's gonna happen, they're gonna release them, so that's really funny that I think that's there. And then we have Gawain, I think his effect is actually really appropriate for his story as well. Gawain gives 200/200 to all other knights, and his sword, from Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, the name was Gallatin. I don't remember exactly what the full Welsh name was. I think it was a different translation. But his sword is stronger during the morning and gets weaker by night. So I think the 200/200 is a reflection of his sword kind of being strong during the day, especially because you can see like light rays in the background, and he's like a light resonator himself. And then his rest effect, I feel like when he rests something, it kind of shows and to me anyway, when you rest, it's kind of like you're being weakened. You're kind of like standing down, kind of like how flyers can be attacked now, because once they attack, they kind of rest, and they're not like strong anymore. So I feel like the whole rest effect is because of the knight losing power, even though he's resting them and not himself. But once he attacks, he's rested. And then the 200/200 reflects the sword's buff that he would have from it being day. And then lastly, the knight we have is Tristan. Tristan, it's really relevant to note that he's also like one of the best looking knights. You can see he's like a strapping young man. And this is important because Tristan was known to be the most beautiful of all knights. He also had like a very talented amount of like instrument playing skills. He could sing very well. He was kind of like a ladies' man. And he's actually another person who falls for like a love potion thing. I guess that's like really big in this world. It's like, hey, to screw everything up, let's just make people be intimate with each other. But he ends up being with another woman due to a love potion as well. I don't remember if Morgan was the one that made that. I don't exactly. I think it wasn't really said. But his effect, I think, really reflects the kind of story as well, because he gives 100/100 to everything else. I can see, because he's a poet and he's very like loving and just kind of like this good, pure-hearted person, that he kind of inspires power within everyone around him with either his voice or his talent. And I think it's cool that they made it reflect that 100/100 is what he gives everyone when he attacks. As well as with Mordred, it says banish another resonator to do 1,000 damage, and that's because he's a traitor. He literally just kills King Arthur. So banishing something you control is kind of the same aspect of getting rid of something that's dear to you, because you're losing your card. So yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. That was the story of the Knights of the Round Table. I hope I did a good job explaining it, because I really like this story and I would feel totally awful if I didn't do a good job kind of presenting it to you guys. I really hope that it was everything you can imagine from the story of this, because like I said, it just means a ton to me. If you guys do have any questions though, you can feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If I did miss something, feel free to chime in and just leave a comment about what it is, and I can always add it to the description later. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do, because I have a ton of more stories, deck profiles, box openings, and coverage from Houston coming extremely soon, and I will catch you guys next time.